Good day, my ladies and my gents. Happy Wednesday, which means it's time for another thrilling episode of What Did You Buy Wednesday? Hosted by our buddy Joe over at Big Sky Model Workshop. I'll have a link to his channel down below. And his idea is basically stash ads. What have you bought in the last week, 2 weeks, month? Something you bought 6 months, 2 years ago. You come across a killer deal. You come across a new supplier. Uh, you bought a brush at the arts and crafts store a couple of weeks ago. Post it up. Let us know. You never know when what you have might inspire somebody to build something else. I know I've found a few places online that some of the folks that have put up, and I've gone and checked them out, and I'm like, ooh, I like that. So you never know. Plus, a lot of times, especially if you're doing the smaller uh, uh, makers, like smaller suppliers, like Josh, VCG Resins. I'll talk about this guy here in a little bit. Uh, you know, it helps them out because they're right here in America, small businesses, and you're supporting small American businesses. First of all, though, I did get something at a worldwide store, and yeah, well, it got me a new cutting mat, a small one. I've been meaning to. This is a 12 by 18. It's a Fiskars. You can see the name right here. And I've been wanting to get one that is. Got one that's like 2 feet by 3 feet, and it's just flat too big for my working space. And so wanted to go ahead and get one of these. I know it's not green. But it is reversible from on the other side. This is light gray, and the rest of it is a dark gray, basically reversed. But I kind of like this. I can see things easier. It does have the 30, 60, and 45-degree angle down in the corner. Little dots for the 1/4 inch along through here. And $12 at Walmart. So, yeah. Um, so, let's go on. Now, recently, Josh over at bcgresins.com, I talked about it when I got my goodie box the other day. Excuse me. Zoom this in a little bit. I talked about these. They are the Underdash air conditioner vent and control pack, and it's got a variety of different things. And I talked about that in my pizza box episode here the other day. But I went ahead and ordered some more because you know you do a bunch. And then he's also got these. It is basically a vintage add-on air conditioner system. And it has the lost the word. All I can think of is condenser, and the little unit that comes with it. I'm at a loss for words today for some reason. Anyway, it also comes with a clutch for the fan, the fan belt, and a compressor to go with it. A couple of faces, and it comes with an under dash system that you put the vent on. If you want to go that far, like you've got a convertible and you can really see inside it, or you've got doors that open on it and you can really see under the dashboard, and you want to have something like this instead of just a face. I got a couple of them. Keeping things cool because it's hot outside. Yeah, it's supposed to be 98 degrees here in southern Texas and 102 tomorrow. And on Friday, it's supposed to be 100. And then we're going back down into the mid-low 90s all next week when we were promised of low 80s. Yeah, weathermen. I really wish I could be wrong 80% of the time and still keep my job. But anyway, I got one of these. Let me zoom in. And it is the vintage in-car swamp cooler. Put ice in here, and you plug it in. I guess somehow or another. I haven't really looked into these, but you put ice in it and you turn it on, and it blows. It sucks air in, and then it blows. It runs it across the ducted where it runs across the ice, and it blows out cool air, and just a little air conditioner. Then I also got a set of these, your old vintage swamp coolers. These are the ones you mount up in your window on some of the old cars, Hudson, for example, or 1940s, 1950s cars that didn't have air conditioning. You put them up in the window and fill them up with water, ice, usually water, and in a little tank that's attached to it. And then you're driving down the road, air would be forced in and go across the water, evaporate it, and then it'd blow cool air through the little vent that's mounted through the side window. This particular piece that I'm looking at here, you can see it's got a couple of little mount thingies there. And it comes with a couple, you're supposed to put a couple of rods that go down to the base of your window, and it helps support it so it doesn't bounce like this and possibly break your window, because these are basically set up to just hang on the window. Got a little bit of weight there, and it can break them. So, but anyway, I got 3 different styles, and but yeah, these would look really good on some of your Hudsons, and some of the others, the old DeSotos or whatever from the 40s and 50s. Now, let's talk about a new supplier that I found on eBay. This is, get the name right. I wrote it down because this is something new. You can see this is kind of complex, and I'll describe it here in a second. It's from Black Sheep Custom Designs on eBay. I'll have a link to his channel or his page or whatever it is you call it on eBay, his store. This is a set, and it comes with this frame. It is a spread axle setup for a Mobius reefer trailer. And it can easily, I guess, by simply removing the locator pins or adapting it a little bit somehow or another, you can put it on just about any trailer frame. And but it transforms your tandem trailer to a more modern spread axle trailer. And quick drink of water. Excuse me. So a little bit of why you want it and why they do it. Okay, first of all, a little bit of legalese for trucking. You have a set of tandem axles like you do on a regular trailer. They're basically, tire. I'll use these two as an example. But you have the tires, they're sitting like this, side by side. This is called a tandem trailer or a tandem axle trailer. You're allowed up to 34,000 pounds on this set at 17,000 pounds per axle, but it's usually 34,000 pounds for a set. If you have them spread like this at a minimum of 10 feet, you now qualify as a spread axle trailer, and you can put 20,000 pounds on each axle for a total of 40,000 pounds. Trick is, you can put 40,000 pounds back here, but both axles, neither axle can go over 20,000 pounds. It gets a little tricky there, but so you can, but if you're running along and you've got 35, 36, 37,000 pounds back here, you're legal. You don't have to worry about trying, especially in a reefer or a van, you don't have to worry about going back to the shipper and getting the load rearranged because you're legal. May not ride that well, but it is legal. So that's the theory behind it. Now, you'll see some trailers that are going along and they've got, 2 axles. And if they have one up, this is exaggerated in height, that's not actually on the ground, it means that they're running either light enough that they have less than 20,000 pounds on this axle, or they're empty because this one is up. And I found out the reason that you do this is to help save the wear of the front axle tires, since they're not on the ground, and when you go around curves, they're not scrubbing as you go around the curves. And those of you who have ever pulled a spread axle of anything knows how the axles can scrub rather dramatically, especially if you're loaded and you're making a sharp turn. So, but doing it this way, you can raise an axle. It also helps if you're going on areas where you're light and you're empty, and they give you have on a toll road, and they have tolls that are per axle. And if you have one axle up like this, it's cheaper because you now have 4 axles down instead of having both of them down, where you now have 5 axles down. So it can save that. Now, the kit itself, this is the frame that this is all mounted to. Now, this looks really complicated. It looks absolutely beautiful. Start with, you've got the brake drums. Here you've got the brake drum backs that go onto, and they attach to the axle. And then you've got a set of arms. You got the airbags, and by the way, this is actually what the top of the airbags actually look like. If you go down to a truck parts store, Peterbilt, Kenworth, whatever, and you get, or even your local Pilot, Flying J, TA, Petro, or a Speedco truck shop, and you want to see one of their airbags, this is what the top actually looks like when they're put together. So, and these are the inflated airbags, and you've also got some that are deflated down here, and you can kind of see the difference in height. And this goes because you've got 2 different sets of mounts on this. These are the arms for, and the mount and the shocks for the regular axle that sits, like I was showing you on the back, where it always is down. And it's got a set of these. It's actually got 2 sets of these in case you want to make it as all axles are down all the time, which is your normal. If you want a lift axle, it's got another set here that you can use, and it will actually has some extra airbags that you can do either up or down, depending on whether you want the axle up or down as a lift axle. And in the frame, it actually has a deal that will push part of the framework, and it will kind of like it pushes it up like a lever. But yeah, and it's got the axles themselves. And these are little mounting points that you put on that goes onto the frame. But I want to show you something here. The level of detail in these, like this is the push rod coming out of the brake can, and it's got the spring brake here for the parking and emergency, and this is the actual brake actuator when you're like push on the foot pedal, or you pull down on the trailer brake handle, or the Johnny bar that's in the cab that you see on the right side of the steering column. It will activate these brakes, and it will push this. It then turns this, pushes it out, which then twists the rod, and it goes like this, and it's got a cam inside the brake system, which then pushes the shoe up against the drum, and that's how you stop. The level of detail, this is called, this part here, let me get my little pointer instead of my fat fingers. This part here is a slack adjuster. And what it does, you can take and pull, grab a hold of this, with gloves on, it's better, and give it a pull, and it will come out a little ways. You're allowed 1.5 inches per federal law of play on that before you start getting in trouble. And you check that, and you can grab a hold and pull it, and then there's a little pawl, P-A-W-L, down here that's usually on the older trailers. There were 9/16 inch, and you basically put a ratchet on it, and then you adjust it in or out to get a certain amount of play in this. And if you kind of know what you're doing, you know how far to go, and you just check it and pull and check it and pull, and once you get it to where it needs to be, your brakes are adjusted. But the detail of the push rod and the connector between them, the detail on the brake can. This, by the way, is not an airline connector. Those actually need to go in here. This is a caging bolt. If for some reason you lose air and these set and it needs to be towed or pulled off, you can take this bolt and get a wrench and just start cranking on this bolt, and it will actually bring that spring back up, releasing the brakes so you can pull it. And it's called caging the brakes because you're basically bringing them up into a cage and you're stopping them from working. So, and that's only to be done in emergency because now you have no brakes on the back. So, but it's got detail like that. The shocks for the lift axle. It's got the regular shocks with it down. It's also got the compressed shocks for when it's up. And you've got the airbags for the lift portion so that you can do it either up or down. And of course, it's got the hubs and so forth. And I love the detail in the hubs with the little oilers. That's going to take a little bit of detailing to get the oilers to look right. And these are actually a cover, and a lot of times they are clear, and you can actually see the oil inside it. And this little center part right here is actually a cover that you can pull off, and you can actually squirt some gear oil in there and bring that level back up if it's leaking a little bit or it's getting low. And so, yeah, there's that. Just, oh my goodness. I saw that and I was like, oh my goodness. So, um, the other thing that I got from him, actually two things, bring them up. You know how frequently on these trucks you'll have a little quarter fender, that little bit of chrome bit that goes right along in the front here, uh, and then it has the mud flat back here. These are more for the show trucks, the big riggers, and they are full fenders that basically fit over the top of the duals. And you need to fabricate some kind of a mount for them instead of just setting them on the tires. But these will bring a little bit of show truck to your build. And I picked up a couple of sets of these, one of each type, and there's two for each. So, but I really like them. The only complaint that I had about Black Sheep is that he took this and wrapped them in what looks like butcher paper, and this little bit here broke off in shipping. No real complaint about that, but I kind of think it could have been done a little bit better. But this piece had fallen off and had fallen out of the butcher paper and had wound up setting on, it just running around in the box. Had I not actually looked for it and seen it, I might could have missed it and tossed it when I tossed the box, or set the box aside anyway. But and I went through and I checked the whole rest of it, make sure there wasn't any other pieces off. So that is the only complaint that I have about it. I think this was like $25 for this setup, I believe. And these were, I think, like 5 or 6 for the fenders. But I'll have a link to him, to his eBay store, and y'all can check him out. So, really, really pleased with the detail. I'd give him right now about a 4 out of 5, and that 1 star down is because of the shipping and the way he did that. I think he could have packed them better, but be that as it may, I got a reefer to build now. That is gorgeous. So anyway, this has gone on way longer than I wanted to, but I was really excited about this. I'm, like I said, old long haul trucker, and I was really excited about it. And so, yeah, this is. Let's put it this way: I'm as thrilled about this as some of y'all are about some of the stuff coming out for hot rods. So, yeah. But if you want a realism in a reefer and you want to update it to uh, a spread axle, or even some of the old uh, flatbed kits that other than the Mobius spread axle that you want to make into a spread axle. You probably likely use this by simply adapting this bit of frame to it. So, but yeah, um, and like I said, it's made for the Mobius. So I haven't gone 100% looking at it yet, but it looks like you can actually take it and put the Mobius wheels on it. Like I said, you got a set of super singles that you want to put on there. They should just mount right up. So anyway, I've yammered on long enough. So I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. I'm going to do another video here in a bit, and I'm going to do a quick update on the 32 Ford. So stay tuned for that, ladies and gents. As always, B-Tex, signing out.